Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What's going on, car guys and car gals? Welcome to the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. Well, welcome to the cafe. This is Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
This is Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero.
And we are brewing solutions with some seriously special guests. But guess what we're doing, folks? We are double fisting it today. That's right. We're getting two for the price of one.
You know
and we
it.
are getting a get you some. Gonna get you some.
This is a double
That's
fist, no doubt. We're excited. We have two amazing guests. Folks, don't leave. Make sure you invite people in this morning. We got some great information. We're going to have two people that we're going to be able to hear their stories, how they got to where they're at. They are some rising, grinding fools. These people are doing some stuff that are just amazing. They're growing in their business. Both of them have really risen in the ranks with the business that they're at and the company that they work for. Folks,
you might have heard of them.
You might have heard of the company a little bit. You know, they kind of only run the whole car business.
Pretty much.
No, but I'm super excited to have these two here. Folks, make sure that you do one thing that's really super special that will help a lot. It's share. Share this show. Go out there and share it to people. Make sure that you tag a car guy, car gal, or somebody who wants to grow right now, because we're going to show you how to get there. We got two people that are just amazing.
Got a car guy and a car gal.
Whoa.
What? We got it all inside of
it.
the cafe today, and we are definitely ready to have some fun. So again, tag a car guy, tag a car gal, while we go ahead and run through the reel of our incredible partners, and also let you know about what is soon to come with the Car Gal Coffee Podcast.
What?
Go ahead and share around, everybody. We got some brewing to do. Here we go. All right. So now that you know who's bringing you this message, I want to talk to you real quick.
Yeah, man.
Didn't
you go make a quick visit somewhere?
I did. I snuck a camera someplace.
He snuck a camera in somewhere.
Because it wasn't easy. It wasn't just like, hey, we sent a message and we said, hey, can you come on the podcast like it has been with most? But it took a couple of hoop jumpings. It took a couple of moving and groovings, and we're so thankful that we were able to do so, because these people that are in the cafe today, this car guy and car gal, are from Cox Automotive, everybody.
Yes.
Representing KBB up in the CGC.
That's
what you want to do.
What?
Here we go. But I want to show you what happened when I snuck that camera in there. They were actually really pumped that some of their own were going to make it on the Car Guy.
I'm curious. I've been
podcast.
looking. I haven't seen this footage yet. I'm pumped up to see it.
After some deliberation and careful consideration, we are pleased to give authorization for our esteemed colleagues, Doug and Jacci, to be featured guests on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. Let us brew.
They are right there with us.
Let us brew.
I love
That's exactly what our meetings look like.
Lou told me he had that special video that he went and made. Had get I didn't. That's the first time I've seen it. I didn't realize it was going to be his voiceover acting in English.
That was hilarious.
It is awesome, folks. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
We got. I can't stop laughing. We got Douglas Thurston. We also got Jacci Grillo, folks. Both of these people are amazing people. They are doing some amazing stuff with KBB, folks. If you guys haven't heard of that Kelley Blue Book, if you haven't heard of Cox Automotive,
you haven't worked.
You obviously have never worked a car deal in your life. Pretty much every deal that you do, there's something involved with that company. And it's a beautiful thing to have them on here. I know that Doug has been somebody that has been doing his thing. I've been watching him over the last year, and I know how excited he is to get to where he's at right now. So it's cool to have him on the show. It's cool to have Jacci on the show. Now he says, Jackie's my boss. and he admits it, and Jacci has been doing it for a long time. And she's been doing it with this company for a while too. I went and looked at her profile. I know what she's about. So it's so exciting to have both these two on the show this morning.
Yes.
Be ready for some great information. Be ready for some inspiration. So let's make this work.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. So you guys and gals have watched the podcast. You've seen what's going on, and we are getting ready to get to the nitty gritty because you can't do a car deal unless you got a 5-liner, and we are going to get a 5-liner with the two of you, and we are excited to kind of just see exactly what brews. We got a lot going on. We got a blonde roast in the room. We got a dark roast in the room, and we are ready to do what it do. But first and foremost, we need to make sure that we apply 3 F's. And this is really what we want to make sure that takes over the industry is the triple F's of forgive, focus, and fly. We are going to wipe off the weight of unforgiveness. We're going to focus on what we can accomplish today, and we are going to fly to levels that we've only dreamt of. And then once we get there, we're going to keep growing. So do us a quick favor, you Cox Automotive representatives. Thank you so much for blessing the cafe, and we are excited to do this with you. Here we go. On 3, everybody. Cross their arms one time. 1, 2, 3. Forgive. Focus. Fly. And keep growing. Yeah. We'll just keep going right here. No, okay, all right, I'll stop.
I feel like I was ready.
I know, I was ready to go.
I know it's only 8:30 in the morning. Man,
it's icy outside.
Right? It is icy out there. It's icy.
Yeah. I'm so icy.
That's how it goes. I'm so icy. So we are.
This is by far the most fun ever.
So good morning.
Get ready, Jackie, because that ice is probably heading our way.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. That's just how it always works. It comes up to you guys every time. We have winter, but it's like our winters are like spotted winters. You guys have winters, so cheers to you on that. I'm kind of jealous, honestly, because it's kind of like we get like little pieces and then it disappears the next day. It's like, man, come on, man. Like, give me a winter. Give me a day of
this to disappear.
Like, I want it real sledding. Yeah, this is just, but ice storms is another thing. Ice and snow, 2 different worlds. Completely 2 different worlds. I
think the snow over the ice any day.
Me too. It's so much prettier, so much nicer and less damage. But yes, so good morning. So folks, we have 2 guests in the show. We are double fisting this coffee. We are making sure we are double caffeinated just for you folks to get you ready for the rest of this week, to get into the weekend so you can be pumped up, positive, and productive. All right. So let's make this work. So we have 5 questions that we love to ask all our guests. The very first question, I'm going to let ladies first. I'm going to go with Jackie, right? You always got to do that. So Jackie, my question for you this morning, and I'm going to go with Doug. So Doug, this will give you a few moments to think about it, which I'm sure you don't need, but especially for this question, it's my very first question I ask everyone. It's their why. What is their purpose? So Jackie, when you wake up every day and you're getting ready to get up, what makes you get out of bed and go hard every day and make sure that you do what you're supposed to do?
My why is always enjoying the ride. If you know what your purpose is in life, and in my opinion, my purpose is to enjoy every moment, to wake up every day and make a conscious decision to be happy, to be motivated, to be inspired. And honestly, the automotive industry and working in that space is part of what does that for me and gets me going. I've got to tell you guys, the ability to touch an industry every single day where I can have an impact on consumers and dealers and know that it's one of the most important parts of our world and our economy, and that so many people need automotive in their lives, it just makes me feel like I have a purpose. And honestly, I feel like I was career lost until automotive found me. So that's a lot of my motivation, just health, happiness, and making an impact. So I love being in this space, and it gets me going every morning. 5:30.
I love that answer. The automotive biz space, man, you know, and you're killing it. There's no doubt about it. And you're in a great spot to be able to be part of a big community, and you're an intricate part of it. And I love that. And it's good for you. It's good for everybody, because to have somebody that has that kind of energy about themselves, that enthusiasm, I think that's the word I was looking for, the enthusiasm to do that job, because people can take that job and not have enthusiasm, and that job should have enthusiasm, because you touch a lot more people than you even realize, Jackie. You know, you're
blowing it out 30,000 foot view and then shrinking it back in is something I do on a daily basis, to understand that you do have a small significant part in the world, but what we do on a greater scale, all collectively, is just so important for everything in the world. Automotive is just number one category, number one king in every direction that you look at it.
It's I love that you said that, because it is. People, once again, I want to bring this up to the beginning of coronavirus, beginning of all that, when they were talking about essential workers. Believe it or not, car sales is essential. It's more essential than we know. Car sales are essential for all the people who work in the hospitals, people who are driving to and from work, who still needed to get their vehicles. Cars still broke down. People still needed nicer vehicles to get themselves to and from work that were safe. Matter of fact, they needed even safer and cleaner cars, right? They wanted to trade them things in, make sure this car was sanitized and kept sanitized. What I mean by that, folks, is that what we do in the automotive business isn't just sell cars and try to get over on people. We actually try to help and change the world. What Jackie and Doug, where they're at in their level of business in the automotive industry, they are changing and affecting the way the car business works. So kudos to you for doing that. And kudos for having that type of enthusiasm, Jackie. That's a great answer. I love that. That is all day CGC approved. I love that.
Right.
Yes.
I'm built this way, so get ready.
I love it. I know Doug was telling us. He wasn't warning us. He was telling us. He was like,
he was probably warning you. Be ready.
He knew that he was excited to have you on the show. We're excited to have you here too. So Doug, I'm going to pass that question on to you. Left-hand side, what is going on? What is your why, brother? What is motivating you every single day?
I forgot to warn you. Just don't call her boss or boss lady.
Okay, I got you.
That's the only time I've ever seen her angry.
I love it.
First and foremost would be, I don't know if you can see all the way behind me of this about to be remodeled office, but there's a picture on the wall, and that's my 17-year-old.
Yes.
Breaking out of, Jackie said that she was career lost. I was generally lost before I came back into automotive. And I need to make it a point for him to look up to. My nieces and my nephews, somebody that they can depend on and, like I said, look up to. But my biggest why was, when I came into it, I had an amazing owner who brought me into a dealership and decided right then and there. First, he rejected me, and then he brought me back after I sent him an email after I got rejected, and I said, if there's anything ever available, please keep me in mind, just a follow up. And he's like, all right, I like your style. And he brought me into his office and basically committed to teaching me everything I needed to know about the back end of the automotive business. And it was absolutely amazing. So we set off on this mission to, no matter what, our dealership was going to break the used car salesman stigma and improve dealership and consumer relations by building trust, transparency, all that type of stuff. Staying on that mission, I realized I needed to come over to this side, because then I could help more dealers build that trust and transparency.
Man, awesome. I love it.
Boom. I mean, you got one that has all that enthusiasm and loves the purpose that she gets to drive with inside of this industry, teamed up with Doug, that is seeing that his why connects into, of course, family, and making sure that he's delivering something to an industry. But both of them are doing something on both sides of the spectrum. the company that they represent is leveling the playing field for both dealers and the consumers. They're making sure that the tools are in the hands of the dealers to do the very best that they can to make sure that they maximize profit while at the same time maintain full transparency and compliance, because we all know in this industry, right, compliance is king, because it's very easy to get a couple chains put on your door. We've seen people go through it. We've seen the bad news happen, and we definitely know that it's by just screwing up a couple compliance things. But then they also help to make sure that that information is in the hand of the customers, that the customers know what's going on. Because again, if your customer has a phone and you got a phone and it accesses the internet, the playing field has pretty much been leveled, and they help to make sure that tools are in the hands of the dealers and of the people. But what is also important is that they love what they do. Looking behind Jacci over there, she's been to a conference or two. Look at all of those lanyards. Holy cannolis. Wow. Look at those guys. Check that out right there. See that? Woo.
Yes.
Man.
And that's where it is, education, constant education. There's no such thing as I know enough. The more you can learn, the better. Every single day that we wake up, it's best to just try to be better than we were yesterday. You don't have to be a whole lot better, but just a little bit better. And that's what she's doing. And that's why she's at where she's at. Right. No, Doug, now I love that answer. I do love that you started off with your 17-year-old. I have a 17-year-old, so I know how near and dear that feels. It's not, he used to, he has 18s and olders. Yeah, he has 4 children. All of them are over 18 now. And, I have one, the only one I have, and he's 17. So I know how that feels and how much purpose that gives you and how much drive that gives you to have nieces and nephews, to make sure that they see that there's a great life out there just by putting in a little bit more work, by being enthusiasm, having enthusiasm. I should not be an enthusiasm. But having enthusiasm, doing the things that you're supposed to do, showing your family that by doing hard work and doing the right thing and having integrity and enthusiasm, all the stuff, ingredients that you can mix into this cup of coffee, and you can have the best brew ever. And that's nice to be able to pass on down to the next generation. Big thing for me is legacy, leaving a legacy on this planet somewhere through my children, through my family, through my friends. You always want to do that. And you're doing that. And that's exactly what you're doing. And you both are doing that. So exciting. Great answers by both of y'all on that.
Thank you so much for that.
Because the why is a big deal, folks. You got to have a why. If you don't have one and you're not doing well, I'm going to tell you, start there.
Yes.
Focus on your why and it will change you up. So,
challenge for those of you that are managers today or the next time that you have a sales meeting and you're trying to pound into their heads what it is that they're supposed to be doing today, what they're supposed to be following up on, where it is they're supposed to go, who they're supposed to help. Stop for a moment and ask them why they're there and really wait for their answer.
Yes.
Have them write down their answer and then go back into, well, this is why you need to do this, because this person's depending on you, because these are the goals that you have inside of life, because this is the purpose that you say that you have. It's hard to hold somebody accountable to something that they didn't take ownership of or they take responsibility for. If you say you're going to go to the gym, then I can hold you accountable for that. If you don't say you're going to go to the gym, then I can't hold you accountable for that, right? If you're saying that you're going to achieve a certain goal inside of your units or inside of your warranty penetration or anything like that, if you set the goal, well, then we hold you accountable to it and we should help each other out. But with that comes a culture of people that are trying to always upshift and uplift each other. Speaking of upshifters and uplifters, we are definitely upgraded because of the people that are getting sprinkled in the room.
Oh, so we got a lot of people watching right now, and there's a lot of
say hello.
Yeah, let's throw some of these comments out for everybody. Say hello. We got Nathan Jordan saying, "What up, Jacci and Doug?" Yay! And then he also says, "Yeah." Must have been something really cool that you guys said. Yeah, no doubt. We got Jason Hallshelter
laughing at us.
LOL. We got Russell Hill, man, Mr. Hollywood himself. Good morning, everyone. Let's brew. Stephanie McKinney, go Doug, go Jacci. We got
Mr. Captain Nexel himself.
Oh yeah, you know he was going to be here this morning.
Yes, right.
And then there's
I should have worn my blue wig for that one.
Jason knows what we all know what Captain Nexel would do, right?
Speaking of Captain Nexel, one thing that I don't think we plugged through today, and I think we just waited for this moment, is back at it again.
Yeah. So you just with the three. Yeah, oh, yes, the 3Fs. He knows what's up.
You know,
Hollywood threw in the 3Fs too. We got Charles Higgins in here. Good morning, car guy, and Cox Auto. That's right. Passion. That is a big deal. Passion is huge. That's a word that I use a lot.
One pump of passion inside of my cup of car guy.
Please, one pump, maybe two for me.
Maybe 10.
Charles Higgins, Randy Grove. We got Stephanie McKinney saying, love the energy. Russ Mann. I love Russ Mann. Got
Russ.
We need to talk, man. It's been a minute.
Yes.
Accountable is not a bad word. Very much so. Sandy Cerami. That's my dude, the solutionist himself. Brew boys. Joseph Alano. Doug Thurston is the man. This guy must know something. He's a smart guy. Yeah, he is the man. Doug is the man, folks. Thank you all for being here this morning.
Thank you so much.
If you guys have some questions you guys want to throw at him, go ahead and throw some questions in there. We'll try to hit them if we have time. But let's do us a quick favor
and throw a quick cheers to our guests.
Coffee mug, folks.
Coffee mug inside of the comments. Right. Just let them know that you're excited to have a cup of coffee in the conversation with them because we're about to hit question number 2 for this car guy and car gal. And we're going to go ahead and shuffle it up again real quick. We're going to go ahead and go to Doug on this one. Doug, what got you in the automotive industry, brother?
I was born into it.
Legacy.
Two different sides of my family. My mom's side of the family was in the car business. My grandfather had a few car dealerships. My dad's side of the family was in the food business, had a food distributorship similar to Cisco. And I always stuck to cars. I grew up on a Ford showroom. I was always causing trouble on that showroom. But again, got lost. When I got out of high school, I tried my hand at selling cars. I went from Daewoo's to Mitsubishis to Chevys and then Suzuki's, and fell out of it. Tried to link up with my father and get into the food business. Didn't work out over there, so I came back into it. And like I said, Dave Valenti of Valenti Chevrolet kind of found me and got my brain growing. My grandfather was a huge influence in it, though. He was always there for me, and he supported everything. He supported everything with me going into a Chevy dealership. Even when he had his Ford store, I was making him mad because I was running up and down the road singing like a rock or anything like that because I stuck to the brand. But he actually ended up buying a Chevy dealership in New Jersey and naming it after me. And he had that for a few years, but it was because I was running around singing the damn Chevy theme song.
Like a rock, as strong as I could be. I remember that commercial, man.
Remember when Saturday Night Live did it, and they were like giving a great chant to Barack Obama, and like Barack, they were just pumped up about it. That was a good skit.
I don't remember that one. That's a good one, though.
It was a good one. Like Barack.
No, that's pretty cool, man. That you're it's in your blood. It's in your DNA. You hear of that from a lot of people. Lou and I we both were adopted into this business. We didn't start off in it, but I think it was always in our blood.
Yes.
We always were car guys at heart. And I think I realized that when I was about 5 years in, I was like, man, hold on a second. I was natural at this. And I was from day one. And it was something about my personality, the way I was brought up. It really worked really well. And it translated extremely well into the car business. So I think I was always meant to be a car guy, or at least somebody that talks to people and encourages them to do things,
So I closed my mother on getting me the first name brand sneakers that I had. That's when she knew that I was a salesperson. I was like, Ma, I really got to have them. And this is why the quality, I know it's a little bit more, but they're going to last longer. I'm not going to get them as dirty. I'm telling you, it's going to work out. Just help me get a pair of Nikes, Ma. But my father was a mechanic. He was a mechanic by trade. And I was determined to never be that. And in the military, I worked with a bunch of mechanics. In the car business, of course, I worked with a bunch of mechanics. But I was determined to be on the other side of the table, while at the same time honoring them and really being thankful to have somebody that can just listen to a vehicle for 3 minutes and say, oh, yeah, that's the blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of honor that I do have for them there. But speaking of honor, let's go ahead and give this lady in the room a little bit of a pitch up to what it is that got you into this industry. Jackie, How did you get into the automotive industry?
Mine will be brief because I have basically the same story as Doug. Just kidding. My story is completely opposite from Doug. Oh my goodness. I got into the automotive industry by accident, as I'm finding a lot of folks do, and a lot of females especially do. I was in college for marketing after a short stint in marine biology, which did not work out because studying algae was not my jam on a boat without a shower for 3 months. So I switched over to marketing, and I had the lovely experience of battling cancer for the first time in my life and becoming a college dropout. During that time, I was blessed enough to be hired by a bank, and I ended up working my way up to an assistant manager position in the bank and was purged into the mortgage industry. In the mortgage industry, I was making bank, so much more than at the bank, that I was like, forget this. I'm never working for a bank again. This brokerage stuff is amazing. And I started to feel a little funny about that business when we started to do no doc loans, and you could just state your income. And, there were folks that were working at jobs that clearly they couldn't pay their mortgages. So I started to get a little bit of a weird, moral compass, like maybe this business is not for me or something's going down. And we ended up having the crash. Just prior to that, I made the shift to go work in marketing for the Walt Disney Company.
Hey.
Whoa. Yeah.
I worked for Radio Disney when the Disney Channel owned Radio Disney. So I was in with Hannah Montana and the Jonas Brothers and all of these Disney pop stars, the Cheetah Girls, when they were up and coming. And, they were kids. They were 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. And it was a blast. My daughter had an amazing time with me working for that job.
Wow.
It was like her playground, but backstage, playing on her Nintendo with, Nick Jonas. It was just crazy time. Wonderful experience. I had worked for Disney in college too, so this was like my in. And I was able to transition out of that mortgage kind of world before everything crashed. I stayed with Disney for a few years, and I got recruited by sports radio, another male-dominated industry. This was my first experience in a male-dominated industry. And I worked for weei.com. And the reason that I went over to weei.com is because they were breaking sports news for all New England sports, which was huge. Like obsessed people, obsessed fans.
Yeah.
In a wonderful way. Red Sox, Celtics, Patriots, Bruins, Providence Bruins, Paw Sox, every level of New England sports you can imagine.
Yeah.
And they created a position for me with a director title. I was the director of strategic sales, and I was charged with taking digital from $0 to figuring out how to bill for digital marketing. So the very beginning steps of monetizing the internet, right? So I just thought that this was a great opportunity. I thought I would stay there forever. Flash forward, I made a really bad decision, because that happens, right? I'm healthy as a horse. I go through my second battle with cancer. I'm out the other side. I am just physically healthy. I'm super happy. And I made a decision to up my game and join a media group. It wasn't my cup of tea. It was a great lesson learned. But at the time, Auto Trader had been recruiting me, and I wasn't interested in working for the little magazine that you would see when you leave the grocery store that my dad used to pick up. And I'd be like, Dad, that's so boring. What are you looking at cars for? Like, come on. Right. So this was my impression of, I'm not going to talk to this recruiter, because I wasn't really into it. So as this other company started to, be not my cup of tea, great company, not my cup of tea. Not WEI, the one in between, just to be clear, I love WEI. I went on to kind of explore other opportunities and people that were reaching out to me. I was one of the earliest LinkedIn users. So headhunters were really strong back in the day, and they were just after you every day. So I started to look into Cox Automotive, and I explored what this company does for the community, for the environment. And I fell in love with the company and the culture of the company. And it allowed me to, I'm getting chills thinking about it. It allowed me to fall into automotive, which was a category that I had no idea I was interested in. And I ended up starting out as a entry-level salesperson for Auto Trader, and came in, and I was a director, mind you, before. So I'm building myself from the ground up. And it's kind of what I've always done. When I wanted to work for Disney, I took a part-time job as a events DJ on stage. So I'm used to this working from the ground up, and I know I can build my career at a place that I love. So Cox Automotive was just impressive as to what they did for their employees in their community and the automotive industry. And I thought to myself, what if I could walk down the street in my future and see a new ice cream shop that opened and take my kids, and not be on the phone with one of my salespeople saying, I need you to go get marketing dollars from this new business? What if I focus on one category that is really impactful? I had the highest number of dollars spent in marketing, always in automotive. I had the highest volume of clients. This just made sense to me. So something flipped a switch. And that's my story about how I got in. And I've had 6 positions since then. And I've worked my way up from a salesperson to a product specialist to district sales manager to a manager, a senior manager, and now a director. So it's definitely, that's my hashtag. Keep growing. That definitely is where I'm at. And I just love the automotive industry. I've been giving so many opportunities here that I wasn't given to grow other places, or that weren't as rewarding. This is my home. This is my career. I love it.
Oh my goodness. I love the path that you took, the journey that you've been on. What a fun journey. I could tell you this. I am a huge Disney fan.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Me too.
I'm 42, getting ready to turn 42. I'm not 42 yet. I'll be 42 in a month, but I'm 42 years old, and I absolutely love going every single year. Last year was the first year we didn't go in a long time. And I'm kind of still super sad about not going last year.
Make up for it.
I will. We're
trip.
trying to go the spring break, and we're going to go again in fall. We usually just go in the fall, but we're going to do spring and fall, I think, this time. But that being said, what cool.
A journey.
I mean, being able to do Radio Disney, I remember when all those groups were hot and everybody was listening to their music and all the kids were going crazy about it. The
kids were all of
and that era is like right in that era of whenever I was a young adult, and that was coming. They were coming up through that's so cool that you were part of that. I mean, how neat. And then for your daughter, getting to hang out with them, how awesome. I mean, seriously. But then being able to find your place, and I love that you brought that up about Cox Automotive and how what they do for not just the automotive world, but for everything, what they try to do to make the world better, period. So I love that you found that. I love that you found your place. And I also love that how confident you are. The confidence in knowing that wherever you go, you know that if you just do the process of enthusiasm, working hard, starting from the bottom, now you're here.
What?
Right? You know what I'm saying? So you've done all those things. You know that you can do the job that other people don't really want to do, and you know that you can do it better, work your way up and get to the top. And that's what you're doing. And I'm excited to see your climb. Yes. Your climb has just begun on this too. I know there's a lot more for you to go, and I'm excited for you. So great story, Jacci. You are killing it today. I love it. You brought some flavor in this coffee this morning, and I really like it. It's a good taste. Yeah.
You got to get her DJ name out of her.
Yeah.
What's the DJ name? What's the DJ name?
Oh my God. I was Jax, Jaxx. I used to have a Wikipedia page, but Disney took them all down when they dissolved Radio Disney.
Oh, that's so funny though. Oh man,
that's awesome.
I always have a good time. Like when we go to Disney World, when they bring out like the characters and they do like the dance shows like they do at Magic Kingdom, especially over at the Future World or Futureland, whatever it's called. I can't believe I can't think of it. No. It's like, over at Disney, they got Fantasyland, they got this, but the one over here, it's like Future. It's where they got Space Mountain, that area. They always do like a big old dance show there, and the DJ always comes up, and I'm a big kid. I'll go out there and I will dance with everybody the whole time. I'm like, oh, point me out. I want to dance with the character. Come on, let's go. I'm that guy, right?
Way to live. When I worked there, when I worked in the parks, I worked on the Tower of Terror in the studios. At the time, it was called the MGM Studios, and I got promoted to the Toy Story Parade because I wasn't scary enough in Tower of Terror. I smiled too much. I didn't go with the theme of the ride.
They do that. These people, the characters in there, they act like they're real serious. Like, inside. So, you know, they're like real. I love that ride. I have a good friend, not to go too much further into this, but I have a good friend that I go to Disney quite a bit, and he goes, but he is terrified of any rides. Matter of fact, he's on heart medication to that point. I take him on. I was like, it's not that bad, man. All they do is they drop you a couple times, they open it up, you see everything, you're good. You just ride around, and then you do a couple of whoop, 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 and you're done. Well, everything was good till we went to that part where you go up and down, right? He gets in there. Man, the picture's priceless. His daughter's in the ride with us. Everybody's having a great time except for him, and he looks like he's white. And when he gets off the ride, and my boy Josh Hope, I'm going to throw his name out there.
Oh my God.
Josh, this guy's another one of those amazing business leaders who's done some amazing stuff in his life. But he definitely got off the ride. He had to take heart medication. He was like, okay, bro, I don't feel right. Left arm's a little numb. I'm like, man, it wasn't that serious, bro. He was like, no, it was.
Do it again?
It was that serious. And his little daughter's like, I want to go again. And he's all like, I'm never doing that ride ever. So I love that ride, though. It's a fun one. It's one of my favorites. They just did a remodel on that, actually. It was shut down for like a couple years ago. So I was like, man. But anyway.
But speaking of rides, I mean, you guys and gals have both been on some serious rides to get where it is that you are in your career. And it's one thing to have a few experiences that add to the big picture that is ultimately your life, but to be able to be at a place that's as inspiring and as detail oriented and encouraging as Disney, right? And to shift into an industry like the automotive industry and find that same kind of enjoyment and appreciation for what the actual company does for the community, that's actually a very, very big testament to what Cox Automotive is all about. Just because, again, I mean, Disney is mind-blowing on how incredible they are.
They're straight magical.
and because of how magical they are, it's incredible what comes out from people that take that kind of experience, jump into the automotive industry, and find a way to continue to inspire others. Now, Doug is always inspiring us when he's giving us a good comment, when he's filming a video talking about our magic mugs, right? Speaking of magic, you guys,
that was a very cool
magic
video he made for us. I loved it.
A little hot, something inside of it, and the blackout goes away.
It turns into the most awesome podcast logo ever. Car Guy Coffee.
Get you some.
Let's brew. So
these guys and gals are some special people, and we're just thankful that we get the chance to have them. I know that some of you actually might have a few questions for them, so do us a quick favor. If there is a question that you have, drop it into the comment box.
Oh man,
we're gonna try to.
I do want to bring up a comment though. You guys have some fans in here this morning. There's no doubt. You know, Charles Higgins. If you guys don't know Charles, he's a great guy. He's Higgins us a few times. He's a good friend of ours down in Tennessee. He says Cox Automotive sell more cars more efficiently than ever. Yes, I'm a Cox Auto super fan. Love the company and love the people. Make it all happen. That's so awesome. Well, you got Stephanie McKinney saying heart Jackie. Right.
Thanks,
Joseph Alano, and I love this because I did notice this, but I didn't bring it up. I noticed the poster in your room, in your office, right behind you, to the left or to your right. But it says, I wake up every day in beast mode. Is that what it says? Something like that?
Yeah, I woke up in beast mode, rise and grind and hustle hard.
That's it. You know, and he says that I love Jackie's poster. If anyone missed it, I didn't miss it. I saw it the moment we started talking. I just didn't bring it up yet. But Joseph, you're right on the money. That is exactly
there's a story behind it.
Is there really? Let's get that story.
Well, we had some incidents on a trip we took in Dallas, and we named our team something it probably shouldn't have been named. And then all of a sudden, as we started growing a little bit and having some successes, Jackie's director text started getting, every time she put up one of our victories, it would be beast mode activated.
Love it.
Our team got renamed to something a little more appropriate, and it was the Northeast Beasts. So
okay,
now we're gonna come up with our own swag.
I love it. The Northeast Beast. That's right. We are coming through, folks. You don't even know nothing about the Northeast.
That's right.
Killers up here. We do our thing. Northeast, because we're beasts.
Unleash the beast.
Unleash it. I love it. No, that's I would go all day with the two myself. I could keep it. I could imagine the stuff that you guys are saying. Either way, that's what it's about. It's enthusiasm. It's about encouraging people. You encourage your team in the way that encourages them. And you're doing that really well. I love that. That's so much fun. I can see it. I mean, even Doug's, he has a smile on his face just thinking about that situation. That just lets me know you guys have a great team environment. That is huge, and that is crucial for growth also, folks.
I'm not logged in, so I can't see it, but how big is the reach today? Because my phone's blowing up.
Oh, man, the reach is all over the place.
Yeah,
like even here, like you can't even tell because on this program, StreamYard, it doesn't show us all the views. Like it only shows you a few of the Facebook views. Doesn't show you all the LinkedIn views. Doesn't show you all the different. Because I share this to like every group you can imagine, right? So they don't even pop up. And honestly, half the comments won't even pop up. And I hate to say that, but it's true. I know that StreamYard is a growing business. They're getting bigger every week, every month. So I'm sure th're going to get all these things tweaked out. They've already fixed a lot of the stuff.
You know
which
what
is
they
cool.
have room for?
Improvement.
That's right.
The biggest room in the world. That's right. So we're going to get to the third question now. The third question is one of my favorite ones because it's about people that we've come up in this business with, people who've inspired us. You know, Jacci, so when you came up in this business, I'm sure there's been people who've pointed your way, not even necessarily in automotive business, just people who have guided you in growth in business. There's probably one person, sometimes there's multiple, and it's hard. It's like winning an award and trying to pick one person, right? Hey, I want to thank my brother. All right, guys, thanks. You know, you want to thank a lot of people, and I understand that because there is a lot of people who deserve that, and you could speak of whoever you want, but a lot of times one person that really helped you make a pivot in life. If there was, who would that be?
I'll be super quick, but there's a couple I have to mention for quick reasons. So when I was with Disney, my first big sales coach experience and mentor was Mike Kellogg. He was a awesome, straightforward, rough and gruff manager. And he was the first person that introduced me to U Squared, which was a training program that is brief and beautiful and wonderful and, you know, very old, but still relevant. And it's about how to take and make quantum leaps. Flash forward to being with Auto Trader, I've had 3 significant mentors here that have really changed my career. And I want to mention Lori Sirocco. She was a business development manager at the time that I was an Auto Trader account executive rep. And I could not figure out this industry. I couldn't figure out my job. I was about 9 or 10 months in, and I was on a written warning. My performance was horrible. I think this story is important because you have to understand that you can pull yourself out of anything, and it's all about today or the next day. And Lori helped train me in this business. She took me under her wing. She dedicated several days a week to going out in the field with me when she had no responsibility to do that at all. And she was one of my most important mentors just because I was in the worst place. And you don't have to be in the worst place to have a great mentor, but to be able to grow from there is a huge accomplishment that meant meaning. Like when I felt like the world and everybody else had given up on me and maybe this wasn't the business for me, she is the person that came in and helped me and pulled me out of it. And I mean, that's my most important. I've had Tim McKinley as a mentor. I've had a 8 top dealer ownership group, a husband and wife team as mentors, but Lori was the most important mentor I have because without her help at that moment, I wouldn't be here today.
Thank you so much, Lori, for doing what it is that encouraged and got somebody from where it is that they were to where it is that they are now. And we are so thankful for all of the people that are pivotal inside of our life. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jacci. I mean, that was, really quick. That was actually really quick. I was actually
more if you want.
I love the story though. You do have to break it down that way and show it. And I love that you brought up the point, like, you know, you didn't always make success, but you did find success through failure.
Yes.
So what I mean by that, and failure is not a bad word, folks. Do not think of it as a bad word because we all have experienced it. The difference between people who are growing and constantly keep growing are the ones who look at failure as awesomeness. Like, hey, I'm glad I failed because I learned something here. Hey, if I'd never tried this, I wouldn't even been able to see what's next level to do, right? Because the thing is like, if you're not trying, you're not failing. If you're not trying, Yeah.
If you're not failing, you're not trying.
There's the word.
There
That's the terminology. If you're not failing, you're not trying. And because in order to grow, you're always going to fail. There's always going to be things that you don't accomplish or things that are like, hey, I did it the wrong way, but you need to learn it a different way. And then that's the beautiful part about life. It's like everything. It's like when you first walk. When we were little kids, think about this. And this is instincts, the way I pronounced it. This is instincts. This is instincts. Now, this is instincts that we have as young people growing up. When we're learning to walk, we fall down, we get back up, we try again. We keep making those step 2, 3, we fall down, we get back up, we try again. We do that without even understanding the English language, without even understanding the words. We do this because we want to grow. We naturally want to be able to do those next steps in life, be able to get to the next level in life, be able to get better than we were yesterday. And we do that as children without even thinking about it. But as adults, sometimes we have to think about it, and that's okay. And that's great that you acknowledge that. And I'm glad that you brought that up, Jackie. I appreciate you.
I mean, completely full circle transparency here too. Just so you guys know, Lori ended up coming back to, it came all the way around because I was able to help her. She worked on my team when I became a manager and reported to me. And we had this great synergy and energy about us. She was number 1 and number 2 in the country, flip-flopping back and forth with another gentleman on my team. And I was able to give back to her in coaching her to succeed in her role. And she ended up retiring and leaving the company and coming back through us purchasing Clutch Automotive Technology. So Lori is back in the mix again. So this whole, like, everybody's connected, full circle stuff is real.
Wow, it definitely is. And speaking of full circle, car guys and car gals, we want to make sure that you keep the full circle of love going around by going to carguycoffee.com and sending a bag of coffee to somebody that you love and appreciate. That would definitely be a way to upshift and up.
Oh man, we got great. And he's right. The car coffee is really good. People, Doug knows what's up. There's a lot of people out there who've got our coffee. It is a Guatemalan single origin. It's delicious. It's smooth. It's a medium roast. But man, I tell you, we absolutely love it. We love drinking it ourselves too. It's definitely something that we take pride in. We're looking forward to doing another blend coming out soon. We do have the Car Gal Coffee show coming out very soon.
The Blonde Boss Brew.
I can't wait. The Blonde Boss Brew is going to be coming out soon. So be ready for that. It's going to be delicious.
I saw Doug was like,
nah, I know, but we weren't pointing that at Jackie.
It wasn't on.
It wasn't towards that. Wasn't towards that. We understand.
Promise.
That's all right. I like darker.
Incidental. Yes, but no. Don't throw nothing, Jackie. Say, listen, but it's going to be a really, really, really good roast, and it's going to be delicious. And it's to honor our 2 sisters of savings, the Car Gal Coffee podcast. It's going to be their blend. I'm excited about it. It's going to be scrumptious. It's going to caffeinate you and get you inspired. That's right. So that being said, Doug, who is inspirational to you? Who brought you in this? Who gave you a pivot? If you need to name a few, that's fine. But let's talk about that, man. Let's see who brought you up.
So I'll try to be as quick as Jackie, but mine goes.
Take your time, brother. Take your time.
Mine goes in 3 parts. It's right off the bat, it would be my mother's father and my father. My mother's father, both of them were they instilled the be humble and kind instinct into me. They were both the most humble people you could ever imagine. I think I saw my grandfather get angry once in his life, and no matter what, he always looked at the positives of a situation. He went from he enlisted in the Army a little too early, got sent over to Japan, came back, took his GI Bill, went to college, started selling medical textbooks in South America and Latin America, and put a door or into the universities and stuff. From there, he went to work for Reynolds Aluminum, helped build all the oil rigs on Lake Maracaibo in Venezuela. From there, he got recruited by Ford Motor Company and was a district sales manager for all of Latin America. And from that point, they awarded him a franchise. So he had to choose between where we're at right now and Los Gatos, California. And he ended up choosing here to stay closer to New York. But he ended up he worked his ass off and became the largest Hispanic car dealer in the U.S. For I think it was at least 10 years, if not 15.
Wow.
over and over again. But I mean, just straight up grit. My father, same type of personality, a little stronger, but me and him were at odds most of my life. And before he passed away, we kind of made up, and I look back on everything and realize how inspirational he actually was. Again, with the whole being lost thing, Dave Valenti from Valenti Chevrolet pulled me off the streets, taught me everything I needed to know about the car business. And then coming into this part of my life in the past year and a half, Jacci and Jason Haushalter, I would not have been able to make the transition, I don't think, if it wasn't for them two being so amazing.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
Thanks, Doug.
I love that you throw love, and you throw love in all the right places.
Yes.
And it's cool that you can honor that. A lot of people, and it's crazy to say, a lot of people don't give anybody props. It's all me. I did it all by myself. Well, folks, none of us did anything by ourselves. We all had help from somebody, someone, whether it's motivation, whether it's inspiration, whether it's them actually putting their hands down and getting their hands dirty with you. There's somebody there. And I'm glad that you can honor so many people. And that's why I always say, I know it's hard to honor just one person. It really is. Like for me, I can go all day about a few different people. And to this day, I'm still learning, and I'm still getting inspired by a lot of different folks out there, to include people like you, Doug. You inspire me. Jacci, you also, Jacci, and getting to know you more, I'm super inspired by you. I love your story. I love where you came from and how you got to where you're at. And it makes all the sense of your personality. You just, like this whole show so far, all I've seen is smiles from you. Love it.
I can't help it. I don't
know,
even
right?
I should have laugh lines like flying off my face. And I don't.
That's right up my alley. I could imagine, if we were at a convention and we'd all have a great time just talking, just laughing.
I'm thinking about the stories we're going to share down the road at these events.
Off air. Yeah. Yes. So that's that's going to be good. Air. Yeah, right. This, you can't record this one, but yeah, that being said, no, I'm so glad that you guys can do that. And I love that you guys were honoring the people that you're honoring. So mad love to everyone out there that if you heard your name, that's kudos to you. Yes. For real. We appreciate you. I'm actually honored that they brought you up, and I hope that I get to know those people too, because obviously they got you to where y'all are, and that means they're great people, and that's the type of people that I love to surround myself with. When you surround yourself with greatness, you become greatness, and that's key. It's who you surround yourself with is who you become, and that is crucial. And I love that Doug brought that up with you, Jacci, saying getting to this part of his career, being able to make this transition, you made it to where it didn't feel like a transition. It felt real, like it was what he was supposed to be doing, and it is. Doug, I'm serious, and this is straight up. I've seen Doug in the last, especially the last handful of months, has been super excited. Like I could see it in him with his posts, with the way he acts, the way he even interacts with my posts, and what he says to me. Yeah,
I think it's because
awesome brand ambassador. Awesome.
He definitely is, and he honors the brand, no doubt about it. And it's a great brand to honor. I mean, come on, straight up. So. Kudos for that. So what you got on that?
Well, so for one, this is just a bonus question. So Hispanic, what kind, Doug?
Straight from Spain.
Straight Spanish.
Real
Really Spanish. Really Spanish.
España.
España. My son, who's in the Air Force right now, and he had to suffer for our country by staying in a 5-star resort while training the Spanish Air Force on the Canary Islands, and was like telling me about the paella and just the way they cook differently. He also has been to Italy. I haven't been to Italy yet. We got a little bit of Italian in us, but I'm a big pizza nut. And he was like, you don't even know what's going on. I've tried the New York, but I've been to Italy, I've been to Spain, and now he thinks he knows things, right? But it's awesome to know that from all around the world, we can get mixed into this culture of brewing solutions. And I don't say that just to be cliche and just to, put some more of our tags out there, but just like you all can see the beans on the screen, right? It's not just one that makes this cup of coffee.
True that.
It's not just one that makes it to the roasting station that gets it together. It takes a culmination of them. It takes a group of them. And sometimes when you have a good blend, that you have beans that come from all over the world, and then they get put into one spot, grounded down, a little bit of hot water ran through it, and bada bing, bada boom, you got you some Car Guy coffee. But inside of the industry that we're in, we have many different things that happen to us and many different things that we push through and we get through with all of the beans that we're grinding it out with. And you both have explained your path. You've explained where you felt lost, where it is that you felt lots of victory, where it is that you felt lots of challenges, and then what ultimately got you to the car business. My question for you all, and I'll kick this over to Jacci, is what has been the hardest lesson you had to learn business-wise up until this point?
So business-wise, the hardest lesson I've had to learn is definitely not to take things personal. So everybody talks about on a humanity level, you don't know what someone's going through, or what they've been through that day. Typically, people's reactions in life and in business are not personal to you. If you're confident in what you're bringing forward and you're presenting is true and authentic and helpful, and somebody comes back to you with a less than, helpful reaction, it's not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of something that they're going through. And maybe so much not a reflection of them being a not nice person or not a good human. It's something that's happening in their world that's affecting their attitude or their mood. So the hardest, the car business is an easy place to learn that, because there's so much going on in dealers' lives every single day that as a vendor partner, we need to recognize that we are like an almost invisible part of your daily life. And if you take that into account and you take it into perspective and you can be understanding about that, your dealers will appreciate what helpfulness you bring to them, and you'll be more flexible about when you bring it to them or when they're not able to receive it, and you won't reflect it upon yourself. Like, that's really, I struggle with helping my teams understand that on a daily basis, that don't take anything personal. You don't know what somebody's going through. And that is a hugely valuable lesson that I've learned here working in automotive and throughout my entire career. Just don't internalize everything. It's not useful. It's not helpful. And it probably has nothing to do with you.
That's right. Forgive, focus, fly. You're so right on that. That is crucial. Not just business. That's real life.
Yeah.
It's always so personal. It's because I understand we all think the world is just our world, right? We only see our side of the coin. In this world, there's so many aspects and there's so many things that are not just you. Sometimes things have to be not internalized, like you said. I love that. That's a great way of putting it, and that was a great lesson to learn. That's something that I took a long time for me to learn too. So I love that you brought that up, and that's a great one.
Thank you so much for that.
Absolutely.
So Doug, what has been your hardest lesson, my brother?
Yes, sir.
I can honestly piggyback off of what Jacci said, but my hardest one that I'm still learning from is, and Jacci can attest to it, is not being too nice. Don't let people walk all over you.
Yes. Yeah, and that's something that's actually a great lesson to learn. When I first got in the business in sales, I should say, I was that guy. I was the one that believed everything, and you just went with it.
They're coming back, I promise.
And that's not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong, folks. It's not saying that don't be yourself when you sell, but you have to read between the lines. People want to be sold. There is a difference, and if that makes sense, what I mean by that is that people sometimes they're gonna just walk away because they like to be kind of shown the way. They want to be impressed by the product they're purchasing. They want the value to exceed the cost of it. They want to feel that relationship being built. So sometimes, if you're a yes man, that can work for you in a lot of cases, but there's times that being just a yes man, people don't like yes men in some cases. So I understand what Doug's talking about. You got to have a little bit of an edge on you. And what I mean by that is there's a delicate way, it's like a razor blade. A razor blade can cut you super deep, or it can come and just shave the hair off your face really smoothly, right? So you have to be very delicate with that blade and understand how to use it. And when you're able to use that blade right, it turns into a smooth shave. But if not, you're going to put nicks and cuts all over somebody. So understand that there is a technique to it. There is a way of doing it smoothly without hurting or affecting anybody by making it perfect in a clean, perfect shave for them. I know I'm using a weird analogy there.
No, that's a fantastic analogy.
But it's true though. It is, because it can be, because like just like I say, when you shave your face, you can cut yourself if you don't know what you're doing. So just make sure that you do it smooth. But you have to put force behind it a little bit. You have to sell them. You have to ask for the business. I think that's probably the biggest thing you miss when you're being too nice to people, is you at the end you don't ask for that business. You're like, okay, well, get back with me later, instead of being like, hey, so what do I need to do to get this business started now? You know, and that's something that it takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of courage, and but confidence. Just confidence. And once you do it a few times, you start realizing, I just need to ask for the business. That's my goodness, how many times then you go back, you're like, man, how many deals did I miss? Well, I just could have asked for it. But you know, that's the beautiful part about life. You can't do anything about yesterday. All you can do is focus on what you're doing right now, so you can make your future better for yourself. So just work on right now. Just get better. That's all you have to do. And Doug figured that out.
On that, just want to tag to it. And some of you, and the reason why we ask these questions, car guys, car gals, and all you solutionaries, is because you all have the same things going on inside of your life. Your why is important. The people that have influenced you are important. What brought you to where you are is an important path. And honoring that is key to being able to go forward and succeed. And then understanding really what it is that is big, the big challenges, so that you don't repeat them again. These are all character building lessons that we all get to get. And I want to encourage all of you out there, Doug, Jackie, everybody that's out there, when you're ever dealing in that spot of being just a little too nice, remember, man, I really feel like I'm in a Black Panther movie, and I feel the Black Panther's mom saying, remember who you are, right? You have to remember who you are. Remember where it is that you come from. Remember the legacy that has been laid out for you to be where it is that you are, and hold your ground. If you are firmly planted in the identity of who you are and what you're about and what you're trying to achieve, people can't walk over you. People can't just push you over, because you understand where it is that you are established, and it's not by them. You can't give them that authority in your life. You can't let them be the one that makes or breaks you. That's not up to them. That's not for a privilege for them to have. You are in control of it. We encourage everybody to be the master of your domain. Who's the master? Like Shonuff. I don't know if you guys know The Last Dragon, but Shonuff, right? But who's the master? And then Leroy Green gets his head out of the water after he's looking at all these visions of what got him to where he is, and he looks back and he says, I am. Right? That's right. And so it is you that is the master of this universe that you're in. We submit to one master, but you have to be firmly planted in identifying what he made you to be. And if you are that way, then somebody can't push you over. So I encourage you all, know what it is that is firmly rooted you. And no matter what storms come, you're not going to be pushed over by anybody. But it does take the understanding of like, man, you're trying to get over on me. Man, I can't keep letting you get over on me. You know, and eventually there has to be a stop. That's enough. But I mean, that's a fine dance, right? Of understanding when to give, when to kind of push back a bit, and when to just say, nope, now you've crossed the line. You know, I can't let you be this way. And that there is a balance inside of that. It is somewhat of a skill.
It is a balance. A balance. Yin and yang on that. You know, it's 100%. It's a balance.
How do you know without knowing? Okay.
Yes, that's another The Last Dragon freaking quote right there. I love it. So, no, great question. I'm glad that we brought that out, because it is key to understand that we all have room for improvement, right? And to find that and understand what you need to tweak, and then to tweak it and actually make it work. It's so satisfying. So I'm so glad we brought that up. So my last question for you all for the 5-liner. Now, so what's been the greatest reward? I'm going to start with Doug on this one. You know, Doug, your greatest reward that you've had, not just from the business, just in life. Let's just talk about life here. Let's talk about what's been your greatest reward on this planet since you've been alive.
I mean, there's another one. There's going to be two different aspects. It's
love it.
I was able to pull myself out of a pretty dark place and concentrate on family and doing some pretty great things on a personal level. Trying to make my father proud, that type of thing. Sure. But business-wise, it's I get off on the people, the connections, everything about what I'm doing right now. I'm enamored with the fact that I get up every morning because of you guys. I listen to Glenn Lundy, and I start my morning off extremely happy and love what I'm doing all day, every day. and the people, you know. It's a gift to be able to help dealers get through everything they have to get through on a daily basis.
Man, it's so true. That's right. You know, and much like when on our side of the fence, like you know, us at the lot, you know, it's for us being able to wake up every day and change people's lives. You know, people think that buying a car doesn't change people's lives. It does.
It upgrades them.
It upgrades their lives. They needed something new. Their car broke down. In a lot of cases, what we do subprime, there's a lot of people just been told no so much, and they need a car to get to work. They need something reliable, and we're able to help them because we do that extra mile. That's such a great reward for me. When I train a new salesperson and they get excited and they're new, you know, it's a great reward for me. You know, I know that there's a lot of things that we could be thankful for and have blessings, you know. My greatest reward, you know, and I can go on for a day and I'm not even going to talk about it, but my greatest reward it's more personal. You know, I'm so thankful for what's going on with my family. I've been married yesterday was 16 years of marriage and all this type of stuff. I don't want to talk about much, but what an amazing accomplishment for me. I never thought I was going to get married when I was younger. I used to joke around and say I was that Too Short song. I'm a player for life. But that was a long time ago, and I'm so glad that I completely did not turn out to be that guy, right? So that being said, Jacci, what's up with you? What has been your greatest reward since you've came up in life and everything for you? What's been your greatest one?
My greatest reward, hands down, is just gratitude. I'm so happy to wake up and take a breath every morning. I'm at a point in my life where I've been through so much and I've had such a scary ride and such a great ride that I'm content. Like, I'm just happy to wake up. And if I can wake up and take another breath and, you know, enjoy just even looking at a picture of or talking to or FaceTiming with any of my kids or even my granddaughter, I'm just over the moon happy. And honestly, the connections that I've made through automotive fulfill me on a daily basis. And I never thought I'd get that out of a career. Like, work was just work for me up to this point. Like, I loved working for Disney. I mean, I sweat. I mean, they would get all the blood out of you that they could because you put all your heart and soul into it, right?
Yes.
But there's something about automotive that I feel like it gives me as much as I put in. And I've never felt so rewarded. And it helps me feel fulfilled in my life in general. And like I said, it helps me enjoy my children better. And it helps me make these human connections that bleed from my professional life into my work life. I've always kind of had that all be separate over the years. And I finally feel like I'm home at work. So every day, waking up, taking a breath, enjoying the people, whether they're at work or at home, is just, that's my reward every day.
That is, I love that. That is a good, you could tell that you mean that from your heart too. And it's true. What a great reward that is, you know, that to have that type of gratitude, you know, that's such a huge word. Gratitude. That attitude of gratitude, right? Yeah. And having that is crucial because the one thing that's for sure is your attitude will determine your altitude.
Come on.
So if you have the right attitude, which it starts with gratitude, which starts with humbleness, which starts with all these things, that these ingredients that we've talked about today. You know, today we've had a great opportunity to sit down, ask what your all's whys were. You know, both of you guys had two different style whys, very similar though. It all comes from the heart. It all comes from wanting to constantly just be better than you were yesterday in the grand scheme of things. Then we got into everything everything that it's about the car business. We talked about how you got in the business, who motivated you, what was your, your greatest lesson that you learned. And then we talked about right now, we just talked about love, and we talked about life. We talked about gratitude. We talked about the best reward, the greatest reward that you could imagine, right? That you had from life. And we did this. And what's crazy and what's beautiful, crazy. I said crazy. What's crazy? I don't know why I said crazy, but I did. That's a cool new word. Write that out. Hashtag it.
Great and
hashtag crazy. It's great and crazy at the same time. That's exactly right. So, you know, what's crazy about all this is that, you know, what it all boils down to is that this car business has given us all a new refresher in life. Like what I've noticed is for Jacci, you had a great career. You were Disney, you know, I mean, folks, when you think of Disney, smile, instant smile. But she just said that this automotive business, by the people that she's been able to touch, the people that she's been able to help, the community, and what she puts in is what she gets back. That's what the automotive business is. Every facet of it. Seriously, it's that awesome. Doug's the same way, folks. Doug is, his coming into Cox Automotive has really put him, I can see it in him right now. I can see the glow inside him, how excited he is about what he's doing. It's automotive, but it's been his whole life. But this has given him a new type of gratitude, a new type of fulfillment that he's looking for. And I think that it's great that he's found his home with Cox Automotive.
Jackie's about to get really rewarded because I've had 9 different calls from the Albany area.
That's what I'm talking about. Hoorah. That's what I'm talking about. Now we have finished the 5-liner. What a good time that was. But I do want to ask you all, because I think we have time for some fresh news.
We can get
and I want to hashtag fresh news these two. So, folks, I know that there's some new stuff coming out. There's some things that you guys probably are excited about. What is the new hot thing that you guys are out pitching, that you guys are out trying to help make solutions for?
B6, Doug, you want to talk about that?
There you go.
B6.
Oh, so everybody always talks about, I think we touched on this a little bit in the beginning of the call, but I don't remember if we were live or not yet, but we have new buying signals. And one of our goals at Cox Automotive is always to connect all of the assets and all of the properties and all of the data and insights that we have. So as we're looking to our different business unit partners, there are so many ways that Cox Automotive comes together, but we've had some challenges in getting it all to flow. And we are to that point now where Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer is actually communicating more integrated than ever with different data from, we've always been with Manheim, but we have now VIN Solutions, and we have their AI product, and we have our V-Auto products, and they're all talking to each other, and we're able to kind of show dealers that are using Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer where the hot shoppers are in a different way than ever. And I would say, if you want to know more about that, definitely get with your Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer regional sales manager or your V-Auto performance manager and talk to them a little bit about what that reporting integration looks like, because now more than ever, we can show you where to focus first. Because my biggest pet peeve in this industry is cherry pickers. You never know who's going to want to buy a car from you and why. So answer every opportunity, answer every offer. But this will show you how to prioritize, right? I think prioritization is smart. I think cherry picking is not so smart. So that's what we have right now. It would take me, quite a while to explain it. And honestly, I've got an appointment coming up.
No, I totally understand that. And I get that 100%. No, I think that that was a great, short version of it. And I think that people get the gist of it. If you're in the Northeast region, this is who you reach out to, folks. What's the best way to get hold of you two?
Doug?
LinkedIn is probably the easiest.
Okay.
And I can direct you from there. But there's regional sales managers throughout the whole country that I can direct you towards if you're not in the Northeast.
And I'm Jacci, Jacci.Grillo, Grillo at coxautoinc.com. If anybody needs to reach out for any inquiries, I am the connector. I can get you to who you need to be to. It doesn't even matter if it doesn't have to do with Kelley Blue Book at all. I can find anybody you need in any industry in the country.
What was your email address one more time?
Cox Automotive.
Jacci.Grillo, so Jacci.Grillo at coxautoinc.com. And it's great to connect with me on LinkedIn too. I use LinkedIn strictly for business. So would love to connect with you there.
That's the beautiful part about LinkedIn. It is a strictly business. Well, there's been people trying to infiltrate, but I ignore those because a majority of them are there to grow and for business. I've been a big fan of LinkedIn for a long time because of that. I was never on Facebook. I was never on Instagram because I did not want to get into all the politicals and all this stuff. I was there to grow. So I did LinkedIn, but then I realized for our podcast, it was time for me to open my wings up. So in the last year, I've been all over all social media, but before that, I was only on LinkedIn and I was very small. On LinkedIn. I posted like a picture maybe once a week. I didn't.
You came in at the scariest time. That's brave.
I went for it. I went ham. I went all for it.
Right.
Hard as a you know what I'm saying. So we did it, and no, but it's something that we I actually, now that I'm using all tools, I've found that their algorithms, folks, if you guys are out there, not to get too long on this, but like even on Facebook, I don't get all the political posts because I don't like all that stuff, nor do I comment on it. So eventually all my streams, Instagram, all that stuff, it's just car stuff or people that are involved in the car business, or maybe somebody that's a friend or family of mine that might pop up like they had a baby or something like that. I get those. But when it comes to political stuff, I don't see it. I know, like, I don't want to get, when I get on Facebook, I had to jump it down because Facebook has all this. I'm like, I don't see it. I just see car guy stuff. So I think it's just about what you focus on, folks. If you're focusing on political, it's going to keep popping up. So quit tagging and liking and not liking. Just ignore it.
Lost inside of the sauce of silliness.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't.
Love attraction.
There's a lot.
Exactly.
That's exactly right,
Yes.
Jackie. Whatever you are focused on, you're putting out into the universe, that frequency you're throwing out, you will get right back. So make sure you put out frequency of love, a frequency of growth, a frequency of people in the car business, because you will get that, or just frequency and love. I love that. That's right. But no,
so the message that we want to make sure is always out there, folks, is that you do forgive, focus, and that you fly to next levels by getting rid of all of that junk and staying focused on what you can focus on. Again, if you're seeing negative and bad news consistently, it's kind of because it might be something that you're seeking out. That might be a little bit of a bitter brew for you to sip on, but you can throw a little sugar in it, maybe a little cream, and sip on it slowly so that you can be upshifted and uplifted into brewing actual solutions in life. If you're not brewing the solution, well, then you're the one probably percolating the problem.
That's right.
So you might want to watch out for that. But again, we are so very thankful that you guys had the chance to join us today. Again, I just want to
let so much fun.
That didn't get the chance to see that how your company let you come out, because again, it took a little bit of authorization for those of you that didn't know that we snuck that camera in. So if you weren't here at the beginning, I'm going to show you again real quick what it was like to get them on the show.
After some deliberation and careful consideration, we are pleased to give authorization for our esteemed colleagues, Doug and Jackie, to be featured guests on the Car Guy Coffee podcast. Let us brew.
And Doug's not just holding a big fish, folks.
Doug with the fish.
Let us before. Yeah, I got to ask this, Doug, because I see your profile and I see you. You obviously are an avid fisherman.
Yes.
You even had a tournament I saw that it said Douglas J. Thornton. Is that you or is that your father?
So when my father passed away, my sister and I were sitting there and we were trying to figure out an easy way to honor him. We were going through his things and we found that nobody knew about it. He had secretly been contributing and helping out this soup kitchen near his house. And we found all these records and everything like that. So we were trying to figure out a way to honor him. So we took his favorite sport, favorite pastime, and his favorite charity, and we put this thing together. We did it in a matter of like 3 months the first year, and it was nuts. We've got all sorts of sponsors. We've got, I think that first year we had close to 200 anglers. In the past 5 years, it evolved into us having our own 501c3 now. It's a foundation in my dad's name and all sorts of stuff. So it's gotten pretty big. But it all goes back to this shoreline soup kitchens and pantries. We end up raising I think we've done about 10 grand for them over the past 5 years.
Man, that is a great way to honor your father.
Yes.
That's a great way to leave his legacy and keep it going on, man. I love it.
Yeah,
absolutely love that.
With you one time, brother.
Yeah.
Really
What month do you normally do that?
July.
Man, you keep us posted on that, man. We may come out and do a remote for that too. That'd be kind of neat. That would be really neat.
Fish.
To be able to help honor that for your father too. That's really cool stuff what you're doing there, man. That's big deal. Seriously. That's really awesome stuff.
Honor.
Yeah.
So speaking of honor, car guys, car gals, and all you solutionaries out there, we are honored to have had the time with these incredible solutionaries from Cox Automotive, KBB, and so thankful that they got to share their story a bit more with us. Pay attention to the follow-up, pay attention to the podcast when it gets released, pay attention to some of the highlights that we've had the chance to actually pull out of them, but pay attention to what they're doing. So if you're not following them, go follow them. If you're not following them on Clubhouse, go give them a follow on Clubhouse. If you're not following them on Facebook, go ahead and like them, be friends with them, check them out. They're brewing solutions for the industry with some pretty big things exploding for the industry that's changing stuff. I mean, there's this thing that people often said is that the automotive industry is always going to be the way that it's going to be, especially because of trade-ins. And there's been solutions brewed for that. And you got to get with the program, folks. So do what it is that you can to get better where it is that you are, because the biggest room in the world, everybody, is
the room for improvement. That's right.
But we have been brewing solutions and having a great time with these incredible solutionaries. We are so thankful for all of you that have been brewing with us today. We are going to be moving and grooving and doing what we do. It might be an ice storm around here or where you are, but warm things up.
That's right.
Things up. Get you a big fat cup of Car Guy coffee so that you can upshift and uplift your world. Fred, man, it's been a blast. Such a blast. Thank you so much, Doug. Thank you so much, Jackie. Car Guys, Car Gals. This is Lou Ramirez, the Car Guy.
And this is Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero. And hey, Jackie, I saw that you put a little comment over here. You want me to read this out? Doug and Jackie's views may not necessarily be the views of Cox Automotive. I understand that, folks. These are their views. But it is a great disclosure to throw out there because it is true. Folks, their views are their opinions. Keep that in mind. Cox Automotives didn't give them a script, but they do represent Cox Automotives with great, genuine hearts. And I'm so glad that you guys are part of that company. And I like Cox Automotives a whole lot more just because of you too. So thanks for making
it happen.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
A glimpse behind the curtain. For those of you that are trying to brew solutions.
Everybody's loving the show this morning. That's right. Michael Offmuth says, great show, everyone. Stephanie says, this was awesome. And she's right. It was awesome. So thank you all. Folks, you guys go out, make your day the best day that you've ever had. It's really simple. All you have to do is make it better than yesterday and have fun. Smile. And if you can't smile, I'll tell you the easiest way to smile is get up, just start dancing. If you start dancing, you can't help but smile. A little bit of attitude in that. Shake that booty and have fun. Right? So anyway, that's right. Folks, we just got done double fisting us a cup of coffee today. I appreciate you all for being here. Wow, we just had fun with two amazing solutionaries. They are out there doing some stuff, growing every single day, inspiring people, inspiring each other. That is beautiful. Thanks for both being here. I appreciate you. Doug, you're the man. Jackie, you're the woman. Yeah. You're the best. Both of y'all are amazing. Jackie, I want to reach out to you here in a little bit also. I want to get you on this Car Gal Coffee podcast. Women in automotive need their voices to be lifted up.
That's right.
As high and as loud as possible. Matter of fact, y'all's voices should be the loudest ones because y'all killing the game right now.
Remember that.
Showing us how we need to do it. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you so much. Goodbye, everybody. Once again, Car Gal Coffee is on its way on 2/22/2021. It will be time for you to get you some.
That's right.
Have a good one, everybody. Enjoy the outros. Thanks again.